Hello my crafty friends and welcome to my YouTube channel Corrine's Crafts. I hope everyone is well today. Thank you for coming over and watching my tutorials. I really appreciate every subscribe and like and comment. I try to read them all if I can. Now today's card is all about using your scrap busting. I'm going to try and every now and again, maybe once a week, once a fortnight, throw in a scrap busting card. How can we make beautiful cards just using some of the little multitude of scraps that we've got? Looking at this, I'm thinking you could go in and put little flowers on there and add in even more detail, but it looks so pretty as it is. So let's see how we made this really lovely and hopefully quick card. So as I was saying, one of the things I'm really keen to promote, and I think I did it with my floating strips card, is being able to promote the concept of being able to make gorgeous projects just using little scraps up from your craft room. And this is what I've got from here. I'm going to try and make it a fairly regular occurrence that we do that sort of thing. Now, the first bit, so these are the two scraps, a little bit of patterned and a little bit of gold. So I'm just going to put those to one side, and I'm also going to be trying to use some of my older dies. Just so that you know, all I've got, we can do this bit first, is I've got a 7 1/4 by 6 1/4 card base, and I'm going to pop some gold on here. Now if you want to really get the most out of your scraps, then what you could do is actually cut your embellishment out of this piece as well. That would really make it a scrap busting card. So I just want to put a little bit of gold on just to give it a little bit of a lift. So we can put that, I don't think that's even. You can see why I like to use wet glue, because give it a nice little wiggle. I found some purple card, lilac card, whatever you want to call it. I just found a card that I thought went really well with the pattern paper that I'd found, so we're going on there. So I've got a nice little border around there, and then I'm going down in 1/8 of an inch for each one, so we can put that on there. I know I just used my all-purpose glue, which is a solvent-based glue, to glue on to my mirror card. That's not a problem, it's all right. I've got something sticky on there, just using my glue erasers onto there, because I was careful to not get it around the edges. And then the top layer of my mat is just a piece of white card that I have embossed. Now, as I was saying the other day, if you don't have many embossing folders, you might find that you've got some pre-embossed card in your stash. So I've just popped that onto my card base as well. Oh, just make sure I've got a clean back. Just dropped a little bit of glue on there. There we go. Okay, so that is my card base, and I want to decorate the front, and this is where my scrap busting comes in. So I'm going to move that out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my patterned paper, and what we're going to do is I'm going to cut some strips out of this. Let's find my scissors, and I can just do this through my small die cutting machine. I'm sure you've all got small die cutting machines. So I've just got it. You can see, look at that. Now this is a very old faux stitch pennant flag type, a flag die. It's from Lisa Horton, but I've had it years and years. So in fact you could actually do this without a die if you wanted to, but I've got my die, so I thought, well, why not use it? So I'm going to take that. Now that is, let me bring the card in, too big for that way. I could be putting them across there if I wanted to, but what I want to do is I want to make them a little bit smaller. So I'm just going to pop it onto here, and I'm going to just put that, I'm going to make them about 3.5 inches long. Now the great thing is, if you've got these there we go, I can feel that's now clicked back in to those notches. So if you can make it click back in, you're going to get perfect result. And I'm going to put a piece of tape over there so it doesn't move. Then I'm going to bring my embossing folder back in, my die cutting folder back in. I'm going to pop that through there, because all I want to do is I want to cut this bit just in case any of these haven't lined back up properly. So I'll put it in, feed it through. Yep, that's gone through that bit, so I can take it back out. And then what I can do, look, you see this piece has come off, which you'll be able to use on other projects. But this now has created the perfect smaller size embellishment that looks like it should have always been like that. Now I've cut a couple, and on one of them what I've done is I've just taken a piece of ribbon here, folded it in half and taped it onto the back. I've got 4 in total. Let's move that one out of the way because I've got this on here. There we go. And then I've done exactly the same with some white, but using the next size down die. I've taken that, cut it once, and then I've reduced it even smaller and stamped a sentiment on it. And that then is going to go onto one of my little strips. What do you call them? Pennants. Is that what it is? They've got a word, haven't they? And I can't think of the word. Would be useful if I knew it, but there we go. So I'm going to pop that on there. If you wanted to, you could stamp onto your card base, but I found that I didn't have a lot of room. You can put that on there just so in case anybody is asking. This stamp has come from one of my craft boxes. It's come from craft box number 15. I've just used the happy birthday out there. You've got lots of lovely ones in there. I take them out, I've numbered them just so that I could remember where they came from, and then I put them back. Right, so there are my 4 pennants. Now you can see they're all the same length just because I just recut them that second time. So push them to one side and bring in my card. So all you want to do is I'm going to pop that one down there. Then this one, I'm going to pop that way. I knew I wanted that one to that side because I've got that piece on. The next one is going to go there. And then the next one, let's put it that way around, is going to go just like that. And I've just positioned a couple of gems. I might put a few more on in a minute. Actually, those might not be in the right place because I've changed my mind about what I'm going to put on them. So once I'm happy that I've got my spacing right, and that's why I sort of do that dummy run. Now you see what we need to do is make sure that they all line up. I'm going to put this one on. And again, if you're at all unsure, put your wet glue on your foam tape at the back. So I've used my sort of mid-height, and I'm going to pop that just there. There we go. Just like that. Then I want to make sure this one, that gap is replicated on that side. Take the back off your foam tape first, Corrine. There we go. Isn't this, I mean, actually, how much pattern paper have we used? Such a small amount, isn't it? And this is what I love, when you can create wonderful projects just using those little scraps and, you know, small elements. It's really, really useful. So this one's going to go on here. And that one will go, actually I'm going to turn that round and pop that one just there. And then the final one, but we're not finished yet, we're going to do a little bit more, but actually that looks really pretty, doesn't it? Really does. Now I then had a hunt for filigree elements, and now so that one's lined up with there. Has it lined up? I think it has. So this one needs to line up with there. There we go. And just making sure that all my spaces are roughly the same. So yeah, I think that actually is starting to look really pretty already, but we can make it even better. So let's get rid of all of the bits, and I'm going to bring in that scrap of gold. I've had a look and I found a really simple, well, this is actually an edgeable die. That's what it was got for. It's from the Grande Swirl Edges, but I'm just going to use it as a gorgeous, gorgeous flourish. So I'm going to get some of my gold card, and again, I'm not going to be using very much. Let's trim that down. Let's bring in my folder. It's always a case, dies are to fit through your smaller die cutting machine. Depends on the paper that you're or card that you're cutting into. If you're going to use this as it's designed to be used, to go on the edge, obviously you wouldn't get it through your small die cutting machine because you'd need a bigger piece of card. But the way we're going to do it, it's going to work perfectly. So there we go. Look at that. That has cut beautifully. And then, now this is just through mirror card. How perfect is that? Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to pop that across there. That looks stunning, doesn't it? So I think I'm going to work it with a bit of dotty tape pen. Little scrap of card there. I can make that work. Oops, just so it doesn't go on my desk. Let's go with, now it's going, I'm going to put the adhesive all over. Make sure I get the ends. There are bits where it won't need to stick down, but I can make that work. It'll be absolutely fine. And again, because I'm doing it onto mirror card, I can be quite robust with it. It won't come to any harm. So I'm just making sure that all of the ends are nicely got adhesive on. And then I'm actually going to start from the top. I'm going to pop that across here. Nice to pop over the edge. Pop that like that. And I could have actually done with putting that on earlier. There we go. And I can put that on there. So a perfect scrapbook busting card. Now I think I want a couple more gems actually. These have worked really well, but I've just got some hunky-dory gems, absolutely beautiful. And I can put, I don't like to get them in a line, so you've got to just be careful that they are totally random. Now I can't see that, so I'm actually going to, because I've changed my mind, that wasn't the die I was going to use. I just found something a little bit different. Just realised that that's hiding that, so I'm going to actually just snip into there. Won't show too much. And if you want to, if you feel like you've wasted, you know, don't want to waste bits, what I can do is I can actually take that. There you go. Nobody would know. There, that works even better, doesn't it? How about that? I've got my gems. I've got my little bit of ribbon on there. And look at that, scrap busting. Little scraps of white, little scraps of my pattern paper. And I think we've made a lovely card.